Hey guys, alright, so I've had some requests about making a little video about canning because I grow a lot of things in my own garden. Salsa is a huge thing that we love in our house. It goes on everything and it's one of the most expensive things you have to buy at the grocery store. So tomatoes, peppers, jalapenos, bell peppers, onions, all the good things are in my garden. The only thing I have to buy are maybe some spices and things like that. So I can my own salsa. I do have some marinara I did. So I'm going to take you through real quick how the process is. Now everything's a little bit different. I use like ball canning tools. So this little doodad I'll show you in a minute how you grab your hot jars out and everything. A magnet or even some tongs to get your lids that you use to seal on there. You're going to want a knife, or this came in my kit too, I'll show you in a minute what that does. Just some things to pay attention to. The things you can reuse, the jars, the actual jars, you just need to wash them. I wash mine in my dishwasher on like the sterilize cycle, and you can reuse the little rings to go around the top. You want everything super hot. So back here is my hot water bath. So this is a hot water bath canning system. I put my jars in upside down. So you see this guy, the empty one right there. The steam is hot. I have all my jars when I started out with upside down so that steam is coming up and making them hot, hot, hot. Over here you see my lids, the things that are going to go on top and actually seal the jar. They are in some water boiling hot too. This is salsa, my marinara, both hot, so that when I put everything in there, everything is hot. So you're gonna want some good hot pads with you, okay? So, how I do this is, you grab your jar, and I always put a hot pad on my opposite hand, and you wanna move kind of quick, but you need to have yourself protected. I bring my hot jar over, and I have like just either a sheet pan or a lid of some kind to set stuff on, so if you make a mess, it's not as big a deal about cleanup. I do recommend having a funnel of some sort. I just fill up to about where like an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch from the top of the jar. You want to leave some space there. But I put my hot sauce or salsa or whatever you're canning, and each thing you can, whether it's fruit or something else, just go by. There are guides that come along with this. Again, this is the ball canning system, hot water bath, but alright, so I filled that bad boy about an inch from the top. Now, I take either a plain old, regular knife, this little doodad, and you kind of bounce it. You can't see it right there. Hang on, let me get. You want to get all the air bubbles out. So that's what this is doing. Can you see me here? So I just run it around the edge of the jar and kind of bounce it around. I'll bounce it through the middle, not like up and down, but just kind of bounce it and run it around to get those air bubbles that maybe are caught in the bottom up and out, because that could make it so that your jars don't seal properly, and then you have a jar that's not ready. Then I just have a clean wash rag. You go around the outside, the top rim of every jar, because if you have your vegetables, sauce, whatever on there from when you're putting it in the jar, that can also keep your lid from sealing properly. Now, my little magnet, or if you have just like some grilling tongs, that works too. I grab one of the lids, so this is just a regular old lid, make sure you got the right size of course, and I try and center that on, and I just leave it set, and I get all of my cans ready that way. Get it set on there. And then you put your ring on. So all you do is put it on, and you're not going to crank it on there. Just finger tight. So just until it gets a little snug. And make sure you have it square, like level and everything, because that's going to hose you if you don't. Like this guy doesn't want to go down right, so you might just have to play with it. There. And I have everything ready to go. I have my lids boiling, everything ready, my rings here ready to go. And then I grab my little hot, I don't know what you call these guys, jar holders. And I alternate and I try to keep my hot water bath level as possible. And you just put everybody back in here. This pot is still boiling with water, so as soon as I start boiling the water to get my jars hot before I put anything in them, I keep it boiling and put everything in here. So these are quart-sized jars. Let me bring this a little bit closer. So these are quart-sized jars in here. And I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them in here. And now I need my other hot pad. And I just lower this down. Now be super careful, because if you have it too full of water, you're gonna get hot water on you. So be careful. If you feel like you're gonna overflow, bring it back up to set it back down. And you want an inch of water covering the top of your jars. So I do not have that. So what I will do, I will keep this on high boiling, and I will put more water in to cover the top of my jars by an inch. That is to make sure that it seals. Then I will leave this boil for a good quart-sized jars, a good 20 minutes. Since I'm adding water that's not already boiling in there, I'll probably go about 25 minutes to ensure that everything is hot and seals well. And then what I do is, you see my towel over here? When they are done boiling, and you will hear them kind of pop, like suck down and pop when you pull them up and out of the hot water bath. Be very gentle. Try and keep them as steady and still. Don't tilt them around and things like that. But I will set them on my towel, and once I get each batch out, I will then just take the towel itself and gently lay it across the top. I do not know why. This is just what my great aunt told me, besides the fact that it helps hold in the heat. So the heat that's in the jar to help suck that lid down and seal them and get them sealed and keep them sealed. So that's the gist of canning. I'm not an expert by any means. This is just what I do, and it works really well. Bye, guys.